and that means defeating Kamala Harris in a landslide.
In a landslide. Donald Trump cannot speak at his rally in West Palm Beach, Florida, that is full of cognitive misfires, full of rants about random objects that don't really go anywhere, that don't end in any satisfying way, and full of slurred sentences. I want to break it all down, but first, keep in mind this is the man who makes fun, who bullies President Biden every time he misspeaks, every time he stutters, but Donald Trump has free reign to misspeak as much as he wants, and nobody says anything. The media holds the two to different standards. Leave a like on the video if you agree. Let's break down this entire rally. So in this clip, Donald Trump says that he doesn't care how VP Harris's name is pronounced like we care how he pronounces it. Watch.
Radical, liberal, Kamala Harris gets in, and by the way, there are numerous ways of saying her name. They were explaining to me, you can say Kamala, you can say Kamala. I said, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what I say. I couldn't care less if I mispronounce it or not. I couldn't care less.
Wow, what a big tough guy. Shiver me timbers. He couldn't care less if he mispronounces his opponent's name. Literally nobody cares how Donald Trump pronounces VP Harris's name when he's acting like some mob boss who is threatening his enemy. This doesn't mean anything to anybody. Also, do words not mean anything anymore? Because Donald Trump said that VP Harris is a radical liberal, but by definition, liberalism means stuff like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, free enterprise. This is a literal definition of liberalism, and liberals are not radical by any means. Also, Donald Trump tries to paint her as some trigger-happy DA who was locking everybody up in sight, but also some radical left defund the police person, when these two things are contradictory. But there is something deeper about Donald Trump refusing to pronounce VP Harris's name correctly. I mean, he has already attacked her racial identity multiple times. Trump begins attacking VP Harris's racial identity. Trump couldn't resist sharing a meme. Trump shared a racist meme circulating online criticizing Kamala Harris's racial identity. Harris was born to Jamaican and Indian immigrant parents. And this is an article from 2016 that says California's Kamala Harris becomes first Indian American U.S. Senator. And then in 2020, it says Biden picks Harris as running mate, first black woman. But these two things aren't contradictory at all. Actually, you'd have to be a moron to think that they are contradictory, but that fits the bill with Donald Trump. On to the next clip.
It was good. And they're doing the same thing with her. She was a bum 3 weeks ago. She was a bum. A failed vice president in a failed administration. It was so bad.
There is nothing failed about the administration, number one. Number two, she is more accomplished than Donald Trump will ever be. She has been an attorney general, a DA, a senator, a vice president. Now she could be the first woman of color to be the president of the United States. Meanwhile, Donald Trump was literally handed everything in life, lost it multiple times, then somehow got lucky and reshaped his image by starring in The Apprentice. Donald Trump has no room to talk. Here's Donald Trump talking about Jewish Americans just making comments that are offensive towards every single group in America.
And he said he's getting asked that question a lot. I said, how can a Jewish person or a person that loves Israel vote, think of this, vote for these parties? I mean, how can they vote Democrat? How can they vote for these horrible people that want to destroy?
Can I just point out something incredibly interesting? So I go to a lot of these Trump rallies, and at these Trump rallies, they say that President Biden and his administration are pro-Hamas. They think that Biden literally supports Hamas and funds Hamas. I also have a lot of Muslim American family and friends, and we've spent hours and hours debating about this topic extensively. You guys know me, you know I love to debate, so we always talk about it. I'm always defending Biden. They think Biden is pro-genocide. So you have one side on the extreme that think Biden is genuinely bloodthirsty and pro-genocide. You have the other side that thinks he is supporting Hamas and is some anti-Semitic ghoul. So both extremes need to chill out and maybe understand that Biden is doing his best. VP Harris is doing her best.
But I asked him, how did they vote for Democrats? Everything is negative. Everything, they want to stay in the way. They don't want to have victory. They want to stop you from having victory.
Everything is negative with Democrats. Donald Trump is the one bringing this country down, dragging it with his claws and leaving claw marks because he refuses to leave. He refuses to leave this front center stage of American politics, and in doing so, he is bringing violence. He is bringing tension. He is the one that immediately ratcheted the tensions from the moment he set foot in American politics. He is the one that nuked the border bill bill, so the idea that Democrats get in the way or Democrats are always negative, it's just so much projection with this guy. Donald Trump is literally the most negative politician I've ever heard. Every single person that slightly looks at him the wrong way has a nickname. They're now crooked, or they're now terrible or wicked.
They want to put you in jail. They want to persecute you. How does a Jewish person vote for a Democrat? And traditionally, they have. No.
Maybe because all of the far-right Nazi anti-Semites are part of the Republican Party. Maybe because Donald Trump had dinner with Nick Fuentes, an actual neo-Nazi, like a literal Nazi who thinks Jewish people should all be burned alive. The people that Donald Trump associates himself with are wicked, and that is why Jewish people vote Democrat overwhelmingly. On to the next clip.
She went back to him, and she will go back. If she ever got in, she will go back to all of those horrible original thoughts that she had. She'll appoint hardcore Marxists to the Supreme.
Again, do words not mean anything anymore? He's saying that VP Harris will appoint hardcore Marxists to the Supreme Court, but at the same time, she is a liberal, but at the same time, she is a communist Marxist. I mean, words don't mean anything to Donald Trump, and it's a prime example of that political doublespeak that Donald Trump has gotten so good at. VP Harris can at the same time be a radical liberal who locks everyone up, and at the same time, be a Marxist who wants redistribution of wealth between all American people and wants to kill capitalists. I mean, no, VP Harris is pretty firmly progressive or center-left. She's not on the far left. She is not a radical centrist. She's pretty firmly center-left.
The other night, he made a speech behind the beautiful Resolute desk in the Oval Office. And look, I'm not looking to knock. I want to give people credit or not credit. It was horrible. And then you turn on to like CNN and MSDNC, the worst. They just...
Look who's talking, Mr. Hannibal Lecter. Donald Trump can't give a single speech or make a single public appearance without talking about the late, great Hannibal Lecter who had a friend for dinner. Donald Trump literally tells the same few stories about his MIT, Harvard uncle or whatever, and sharks and boats electrocuting people, and then Hannibal Lecter, but apparently President Biden is the one who can't give speeches well. Give me a break.
They're courageous people. They're courageous people. We've also achieved what the pro-life movement fought to get. For 50 years, they've wanted to get this. For 50 years, they've been working so hard, getting abortion out of the federal government. They wanted it out. That means everybody, Democrats, liberals.
The same lie that Donald Trump tells over and over, and he just gets away with it. I don't know if CNN or MSNBC fact checks him, but everybody did not want Roe v. Wade to be overturned. You could look at any poll. You can talk to the vast majority of legal scholars. They did not want 50 years of precedent to be overturned by a far-right radical Supreme Court. Donald Trump repeatedly tells the same lies over and over, and it is absolutely sickening. And again, this is that political doublespeak. Donald Trump will say next, I guarantee without even playing the video, that all he wants to do is leave it up to the states, but by leaving it up to the states, you leave each state up to taking the most extreme measure. The prime example is Arizona, which reverted back to an 1864 law. So Donald Trump genuinely uses this political doublespeak where he says, oh, he just wants to leave it up to the states. He is a centrist. That's what everybody wants, while actually secretly taking the most radical position possible. If you enjoyed the video, if you appreciate what I do, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Some people think they are, but they aren't. Make sure you like the video, make sure you comment a blue heart, and most importantly, make sure you have a great day yourself.